All right, here we are. I got a heavy-duty drill that I found outside in a bucket of ice water. Don't know if it works. That's pretty clear. It's completely, when I picked it up, the water just ran out of the motor, so the chuck is just rusted solid. Okay, so, well, you can see the amount of water that's coming out of it still. All right, so we're going to break this down, see if we can get it working. There's some leaves. Ugh, really a mess. So we can get some close-ups in on this. The chuck. Yeah, the chuck is definitely going to need some attention. Hopefully the motor inside is not rusted out, corroded too badly. All right, so we'll give it a shot. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth the shot. It's a good unit. Let's see what we got here. Well, it's an okay unit. Chicago Electric. We got several of those tools. Oh, hey, look at that. That's a good sign. They cleaned up well. Okay, 115, 60, 550 RPM, 6 amp. Model 7426. First thing we're going to do is just dry it off as much as possible. Okay, we just got a big piece of an old sheet. Give it all these leaves. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to vacuum it first. Alright, so we got this dried off, cleaned up somewhat. Now we're going to start breaking it down. You can see I just brought this in. Still got a piece of ice in there. Throw that out. More ice. Alright, let's take the face of this off. Let's see if we can pry this engine out, this motor out. I mean, rotation is smooth. I don't see any shorts, any burns, anything like that. I have a feeling this is going to be fine. Yeah. Set that aside for now. The housing itself. A lot of fluid, a lot of water still in there. Should just be a gasket here. Should just pop out. There you go. That's it. I'm going to take this handle apart. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, you've got on the switch. The one side you have like an ivory color on the top, black on the bottom. Pull those out. And on the reverse side, we've got red on the top, white on the bottom. With that one screw head snapped in half. You could see that. Yep. Yeah, you can see that up close. Snapped. So we're going to get that with a needle nose plier. Get my good glasses on. On the junction box, we've got black, white, and then blue, on the left side, and blue with a red stripe on the right side. That's it. This should pull away. Back of the motor. You could see down here. You gotta pop that off. There you go. Same thing with the other side. There we go. Now we're going to pull the motor out. That's it. Alright. There we have it. Okay, now we want to get this chuck off. Oof, a lot more water. Water just never ends. Alright, we got that snap ring off the shaft. Set that aside and we will just tap out. That should just drop out. There it goes. There you go. There should be a chucky here. There it is. You can see the chucky. Alright, so at this point we should be able to remove this gear. Let's just check. Yeah. comes right out. Got like a spacer. And we got like a lock washer here. Alright, you kind of need like a wide tool. They make a specific tool for that. What we did was we made our own little tool. Okay, so this is just a piece of metal that's yeah. I'll show you how long that is. Show you what we got here. It's easy enough to make. It's zero that out. Basically 3 millimeters. Okay, by 32 millimeters, or 1¼ inches. Okay, we've got a depth of about 13 millimeters. Okay, so basically this fits in this slot here. Okay, that's all you need. This is just basically some cold rolled steel. Alright, you can make it out of pretty much anything. Anyway, just put that in a vice grip. That fits right in here. And then with a little bit of elbow grease, kind of tight. Grab with a rag. You might have to put it in a vise. Just be careful. I don't like to put the aluminum parts in a vise, but there we go. Actually, I loosened it up, but it turns off clockwise. Look at that. And we got a bearing underneath, more water, more moisture. Okay, so next thing you want to do is you want to get that bearing out. It's pressed in there. You want to use like a drift tool, dowel. I always seem to use old sockets. Okay, it's 11/16. Okay, so yeah, just make sure it fits in there. Makes contact with the bearing of the race. Pretty much straight on. That should tap right out. Bearing's in pretty good shape, considering it was submerged. Some rust in there. But we're going to really clean this out well. Okay, this gear here is basically set into a bearing. Okay, to get that out is fairly straightforward. There's a little rubber grommet, okay, in this recess here. You want to grab a hold of that with something sharp and just lift it out. Set. Okay. Set that aside. Save that if it's in good shape. And basically, that basically just puts some pressure against the bearing, just to keep it in place. Okay. This should just pop right out. Okay. A lot of times they just wiggle out. If they don't, you can just smack them a little bit, like this. There you go. Out. Okay, so that's it. Excess grease here. We'll clean all of that out and we'll put new grease in there and we'll put it back together. So, housing's in good shape. No cracks, nothing like that. Yeah, right, we got her all broken down. Take a look at the components before. Everything looks pretty good. Nothing really broken, which is a good thing. The main thing with this is going to be the motor, of course. You know, we've got some rust. Not terrible. You know, so the chuck, we're going to see, hopefully, I think after a good soaking in liquid wrench, I think that's going to improve functionality dramatically. Let me put it that way. Okay. There's definitely not any missing components. Not that I can tell. Looks complete. It's a pretty expensive drill, from what I understand. So, see where we're at. You know, once we get everything refurbed. Alright, end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. So I've got the armature here in my drill press, and I've got a nylon, very soft nylon brush, and I'm just gonna clean it up on here. Okay, that's where we're gonna start. All right, I'm just gonna hit the armature stack with some 400. All right, we're just gonna follow it up with some 500. Yeah, it looks real good. Okay, now we're gonna hit the commutator with some 500. Clean that up as well. I cleaned up real nice. Okay, we're now going to hit the commutator with some 800. Alright, that looks great. Got a nylon brush here just to hit the armature shaft behind the cooling fan, just very lightly. Not much there at this point. Pretty clean. Lightly hit the windings. And the shaft. Pretty clean at this point. Big difference. Alright, the stator itself is pretty nasty on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to hit that with a soft brass brush. much better. Alright, to treat the rust on this stator, I'm going to utilize a product that we've been using a lot lately. Okay, Birchwood KC Blue and Rust Remover. Okay, this stuff has been working for us flawlessly on other projects, so we're going to utilize it here as well. Okay, this should be real low impact, and really the reason why I want to use it here is because we won't have to use any abrasives. At the same time, because it is a liquid, it will get into all the nooks and crannies, okay, which is very difficult to reach all those low spots. Okay, you can see that's just literally just chemically annihilating all of the rust. Okay, gonna get a fresh swab. Swab that on, just dab it. Normally I wouldn't do that, but because I'm trying to keep this as dry as possible, just dabbing. You can see it just instantly annihilates the rust. Okay, we let that sit on there for about a minute or so. We're just going to wipe off the excess residue, and you can see that the rust is gone, non-existent. Okay, we also hit the inside. Okay, so we are rust free. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. So pleased with the Birchwood KC. Amazing, really great product. It should hit the connections as well. My bad, let's hit them. Get a fresh swab. Okay, so we're just wiping off the excess off the terminals. I mean, the rust is gone. And look at this. Look at this stator assembly. Perfect. Okay. Alright, next is chuck. This chuck is in very poor condition. Alright, first thing we'll do is take it to the wire wheel. Okay, so we cleaned up the chuck shaft on the wire wheel, and we hit it with some 400 220 on the hub. Because it's locked solid internally with rust, we are going to utilize some liquid wrench. We're just going to submerge that in the liquid wrench. Let that sit for a while. Okay, so with the housing, we're just going to use some hot water and some general purpose cleaner. Alright, we got the case scrubbed down pretty good. Just gonna get rid of this. Yeah, so now that we got the case cleaned, we're gonna wet sand the whole thing. Take out all the scratches. Take out at least some of the scratches, the bulk of them hopefully. That way we can polish it up. Alright, so we sanded the case down to 400. Okay, that's more than enough. I mean, this isn't going to be a, you know, a showpiece. This is going to be a tool that we use, hopefully, if it runs in the end, which I think it will. I got a very good feeling about it. Alright, so I'm going to go and polish this up on the wheel. Try to bring out a little gloss on that. If you're careful, use caution, go slow, don't use too much pressure, okay, where you're heating up the object, you could successfully polish out plastic, okay, so it can be done very easily. It's just a matter of using the proper technique. Like I said, don't apply too much pressure, don't let the object get too hot, keep moving, okay, when you keep moving the object, it won't get the opportunity to build up too much heat, okay, and you'll be fine. You'll get a beautiful result. You'll be thrilled. You can make something look practically new again with just a little bit of work. That's it. Okay, so we're back from the buffing wheel, and we got a pretty nice result. It's got a nice gloss shine on there. Again, it's not new, but it's pretty nice. Okay, yeah, it's got a very good result. This was a really crummy looking piece of plastic, this housing, and now it's really looking nice. We were, if you remember, we were letting the chuck soak, have a nice bath, if you will, in gunk liquid wrench, super lubricant. Okay, So yeah, this has been sitting in here for about 20 minutes. So this chuck was locked solid. Okay, locked solid. It wasn't moving at all. I tried to even move it in a vise, and couldn't get it to move. Alright, so let's see where we're at now. 20 minutes in the super lubricant. Being that this unit now is clean, we're going to clean up the chuck key. Alright, we're going to give Chucky a little attention and get him cleaned up, and so we can try to make this chuck move. Alright, we'll be back. Just going to the wheel on this, not bringing you with me. Going to the wheel, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Alright, so we've got the chuck in our vise. We've got our cleaned up chuck key. And we're going to see if we can make this move. Alright. So as you can see, we got it moving with a wrench. It's good news. Okay, the front hub, front housing, we sprayed about 12 hours ago with some citrus strip, paint varnish stripper. Alright, so we're going to clean that off at this point. Okay, so we cleaned off the paint stripper. We're just hitting little nooks and crannies on this where the screws go in with soft wire brush. Okay, here we are. We are ready to reassemble. We've got, just to let you know what we did here is we cleaned up everything, obviously. What we did here was we sanded and polished out the handles, all the plastic actually. We wet sanded down to 500 on all the plastic. Cleaned up the stator, cleaned up all the connections, de-rusted everything. The armature, yeah, we cleaned up the stack. Cleaned up the commutator. Just cleaned up the entire assembly. Alright, we removed the old paint from the aluminum housing. Okay, and then we polished them out. chuck. Took a lot of work. Submerged it. Got everything working. All the other parts we cleaned, derusted, and polished. Everything's been polished. Tested the switches, continuity tested everything. Make sure there was no shorts, no breaks. Yeah, everything was fine. Cleaned up the junction box. Cleaned up the terminals, the copper connectors inside. And it's all ready to go. The chuck key, like new. Gonna put the stator back in first. If you have a tool, it's got a nice long reach, like this extended tweezer. It could be would be very helpful, or it could be very helpful for this type of operation. All right, from here we're going to put the armature in. Alright, we've got the rear housing cover on. Okay, just make sure we have no binding. Oh, spins freely. No problem. sure reverse is facing up. Same thing on the rubber cover. All right, we got our 1/2-inch Chicago Electric heavy duty commercial grade drill. All right, it went together, came apart, went back together seamlessly, no issues whatsoever. Okay, we did not have to invest a dime into this unit. Okay, it looks great. But here we go. Here's the moment of truth. Let's see if it actually runs. So we're going to plug it in. No ground on this unit. See what we got. Fantastic. Big wood bit. Oh, that chuck, just look at that. Look at that. You gotta see that. You gotta see that. Look at it. Open it up. Yeah. We're going through 2 2x4. Check reverse.